Hey, thanks for stopping in. My name's Thomas, and this is Zarbo Audio Projects. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I am building some kind of speaker or Bluetooth radio or table radio or something like that. Today, I'm not going to be building something, I'm going to be fixing something. And this is what I'm going to be fixing. This is ridiculously tiny. It's a Bluetooth speaker. I've never seen anything this small that makes music that wasn't an earphone. But this is about 2 inches tall, maybe 1.5 inches wide. And it's a Bluetooth speaker, and it's not just any Bluetooth speaker. It's my niece's. At a family barbecue yesterday, she told me that it had accidentally broken, and she has some sentimental value with this because, well, it was given to her by her college. It says NYU GPH on it. NYU is New York University. We're very proud of our niece, yes. GPH, gallons per hour. So I'm not sure what gallons per hour has to do with her education. I know that's not what it means, but anyway, so she went to school for 4 years, worked her butt off, and all she got was a piece of paper, a diploma, and this Bluetooth speaker. So this means something to her. So I'm going to try to fix this. Now, I have sort of a half-decent track record fixing things, but I've never tried to fix something this small. This is truly tiny. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not. But I'm sure going to give it my best shot because, like I said, if it means something to my niece, then I think it's worth me putting my best effort into. So, will I be able to fix this thing, or will I not? That's the question. Let's find out. All right, let's see. NYU GPH. What happened was this got dropped and busted. Oh boy. I don't know how well you can see that, but those lines are hair strand thin. I don't even know how this really went together. This here, I can see there are some screws there. Some little Phillips screws. Let me see if I can get to it. It didn't quite do it. Let me see. Can I get out of this? Jeez, it's so small. Even this tiny one doesn't quite do it. I have another kit. Maybe this will do it. Little jeweler's screwdriver. Let me see. Okay, that's it. Let me see here. So before I take this off, I want to just basically look to make sure that I understand sort of what's happening. Need more light. There. Oh, that's a lot more light. Maybe that's too much. Okay. So what this is this is a speaker assembly of some type. I can see the terminals there, and I guess there's another one there. Boy, that's tight though. That's really squeezed in. What happened was when this dropped, my niece told me when this dropped, these hair-thin microscopic lines, of course, broke off from where they were soldered to the speaker. So I can figure out unscrewing this will take the speaker out, and I could probably solder some leads to this, but how did they get this together? That I just don't understand. I really can't figure. Well, maybe when I take this out, it'll be more apparent how things went together. But so let me just shut up and do that. Let me take this, take these 4 screws out. You ever try to thread a meter with your elbows? That's what this feels like. No, this one doesn't want to come out. Oh, there's always got to be one wise guy there holding everything up. All right, how do I do this? Let me try to pry this back piece off while I'm unscrewing it. Apply some, there it goes. Apply some pressure to it. Okay. Let me get this screw out of here. Well, you want to stay that bad, you can stay, fine. So what happens, let me see. So this is the speaker. Golly, that's tiny. That is stinking small. Let me get a tape measure. I'll show you how big or how small this is. This is about 1.25 inches. About 1.25 inches. It has maybe a millimeter, 3/4 of a millimeter of X-Max, a tiny, I'm assuming, neodymium magnet. It's a little, very tiny little solder terminals. Oh my gosh. So this part here seems like it's glued or secured to this somehow. I'm trying to figure out how they got this thing together so it assembled. So this part here, the speaker rests in here. Well, actually, it presses against this and just sort of friction fits in there. This has like a foam surround kind of deal. So that just sort of friction fits in there. And then when this piece here gets screwed into here, that secures the speaker in. That part I understand. But how did they ever get this thing together with the lines being that short? It looks like the lines are just long enough to reach the speaker here. And that I don't understand how that happened. This has to come off somehow. It must be glued on. They just put some glue in here and just smushed it together somehow. I don't know. That remains a little bit of a mystery, but now my job is to solder a couple of lines to these two. And when I say they're small, let me see how close I can get and not blur out. This is a teeny tiny Phillips screwdriver. Where am I at here? And look how tiny that wire. I don't even know what gauge that is. Look. Here's some for comparison. Here's some 24 gauge wire next to that. I don't even know if I can strip that and solder something to it. I'm going to try. Oh boy. Well, I guess the first thing is, see, because that's in there really tight. Man, if I could take this apart, maybe I could figure out how it went. I don't want to break it though. Well, heck, it's already broken, right? But I really don't want to break it because it means something to her, you know. Well, let me see. I guess the first thing to do is to solder a couple of lines to the tiny little speaker here, and run them out, and then see if I can solder them to this, and then we'll see if it works. We'll go from there. Okay, I'm ready to solder a couple of leads to the speaker. I've got probably about 4 inches long. Just got a little bit on the tip there. Put some solder on this, tin this. I put some flux on it, and let me see. Yeah, I'll probably go straight up like this. So this is a positive marking and a negative marking. At least that's what it looks like to me. Let me grab just a little bit more and pop that on there. Very delicate stuff. You don't want to leave the heat on for too long. You never know what's going to happen if you, oh, sorry, heat that up too much. So let me do the same thing with a negative lead. Put some solder on it. There's already some solder on there from where the other leads were on, but this is a much thicker wire, so I'm putting a little more solder on. Apply some heat, and okay, looks like we got that on there. We check it out with a battery real quick. Polarity doesn't matter really, to be honest, because it's just one single speaker, but let me hook a battery up to it and see if we hear a click. Yeah, it's even. So we've successfully soldered 2 leads to this tiny microscopic speaker. Now, if you really wanted to repair this correctly, This is not the wire you'd use. You'd use a small gauge wire. I would never use something that thin ever, just because it's just impossible to work with. But something smaller than this. I think this is 22 gauge, if I'm not mistaken. 22, yeah, 22 gauge. And the jack, I mean, it's fairly flexible, but this really could use a silicone wire with silicone around it instead of this plastic or whatever type of stuff this is. Silicone would be a much better choice because it's much more flexible. So this, you know, compared to this, what's in there, this is like a tree trunk compared to this. I mean, not even sure how I'm going to get. I guess I'll try to scrape that off with a knife, stick something in there, scrape it off, and see if I can solder something to it. But that is just so tiny. I don't know how close I can get without this fuzzing out, but it is just ridiculously small. I can't even imagine what the gauge is on this, like 40 gauge, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I have never seen anything that small. In fact, it doesn't even really look like normal wire. Let me look at it with my, hold on a second, let me look at it. Oh, sorry. Let me do a close-up. You know what, now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't even look like it has a coating on it. It looks like it's just got paint on it, because I can see with my microscope the individual strands of the wire. Criminy, I don't even know how to do that. Well, I guess take a knife and scrape some of the coating off would be the first thing to do. Sheesh. Well, let me readjust here. You know, usually I try to only do things I can succeed at. I don't mind challenging myself, but I don't want to have failure be assured, but it's just not looking too promising. Sorry, Melissa. Well, let me get something that I can hold this with and then scrape it with. Let me zoom. I apologize if this gets a little blurry or something. This is hard for me to see and hard to do. Yeah, I don't know how. Sheesh. It's so tiny. I like small things. My wife's tiny. I'm married to a small thing, but gosh, this is just ridiculous. And if I pull too hard on it, whatever that's connected to in there is going to come off. I don't want to do that because, criminy, this is so tiny. Alright, okay, now I got it with my finger. Now what I'm going to try to do is scrape. Hold down tight and scrape. Hope you can see it. If you can't, what I'm doing is I'm trying to scrape the coating out, and I'm poking my finger while I'm at it. Trying to scrape the paint coating off. Now I'm going to try to separate these lines a little bit and just put the red one under a little piece of tape. Well, now it's all under the tape. I can't even see the end of it. Criminy. This is just awful. What I'm trying to do is just secure the red line just for a second so I have a chance of soldering something to it. There. So try to clamp that in, bring that down like this. So I've got right there is the red wire. Right there. I'm going to try to solder this red wire to it. This big tree trunk of a wire, I'm going to try to solder to that thing. Now, first thing I'm going to do is stick that red wire in my flux, so it might have a chance of sticking to it. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, where'd it go? There it is. I'm going to try to put some solder on this, tin this, well, more than tin it. Just looks like you're in the middle of a forest fire. A little more. Okay, so that should be enough. Okay. Alright, now, who knows if this is going to work? You're probably saying, no, you got no chance, Zarbo. It can't be done. You didn't scrape enough stuff off of it. I can't keep that wire still to scrape anything off of it. And now it's sitting on plastic. It's probably going to melt. Alright, here goes nothing. First, let me make sure you can actually see what I'm doing. First, let me get these screws out of here so it doesn't weeble wobble. I'm having a hard enough time without everything moving. Alright, where are we at here? Alright. Okay, here we go. So what do you think? Is it going to work? I don't know. So let me try to get this underneath that line a little bit and just criminy. Oh jeez. I could shrink myself down to like 25% and still not be able to do this. Alright, put some heat on it. It's kind of stuck to it. Maybe I got it, I don't know. Alright, let me see. Okay. So I got the fibers to that. Or, did I ever scrape that? No, I don't think I did. Let me try to scrape it a little bit with the knife. Just to see if I can loosen up some of the fibers here. Scrape some of the paint off. Well, I guess they don't want you fixing these things, but I gotta try for my niece. So let me see. First, I gotta tin this a little bit. Okay. Now let me try, see if I can get that stuck on there a little bit. This is difficult. I gotta get the right angle here where I can do it. Plus, see, this isn't that bad, but the camera's in the way. No matter how I arrange this, the camera's always right where I need to be. That ain't working. I'm just melting plastic there. I'm hoping that the paint will sort of melt away and take. Alright, now look. It appears that I have two wires somehow in some form or another soldered. Ah, nuts. I didn't run the lines through this. Oh, criminy. Ah. Zarbo, you dink. Alright, well, I've made a mistake. I've snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. I should have ran the wires. I should have mounted the speaker in there, ran the wires through there. You've probably been screaming that all this time. Zarbo, you forgot to mount the speaker. You schmuck. You dink. You moron. You schlemoven. Alright, well, I never said I was perfect. Well, it looks like I might have these things soldered up. Now I just gotta turn it on. Wait, how do you turn it on? Oh, there's no button. How do you turn this thing on? What the heck could this be? Is this one of them things you gotta flip or something? Ah, it came off. Oh, brother. Alright, let me try to redo this. It's just, I'm not sure exactly what makes this thing turn on. I mean, I plugged it in, but it says input DC 5 volts, battery capacity 2 milliamps. So there's a battery in there. I just don't know how to turn it on. I mean, is there a button? Oh, wait. Oh, criminy, there's a button there. I didn't even see that. So what do? Press and hold? It's blinking. There was no instructions for me to read, okay? So no, it wasn't because I didn't read the instructions. I guess I could have asked her, though. Press and hold. That turns it off. Alright, this is cool. I have got to get this working for this girl. I hope that I can. Did I get it in the hole? Look at that. Look at my ninja screwing in tiny screw skills. Alright, so I managed to get the speakers screwed into the top part, like I should have done right after I soldered their leads to it. And yes, I finally figured out how to turn the thing on. Yeah, it might be time for some glasses. I probably should have seen that button a bit sooner. So I took another crack at soldering the speaker leads to the amplifier, and I was able to get them soldered well enough. A little heat shrink tubing, and a bit of electrical tape on the connections, and... Alright, so let me try to wind this in there in such a way that it doesn't block everything. Let me find that bloody button to turn this thing on and see what happens. Press and hold. I heard a noise. Let's lighten up and figure out what in the world I can glue this on with. It works. I think I fixed it. I can't believe it. I thought I'd go blind before I got this fixed. Well, what do you think would work to hold that together? I'm guessing probably super glue. And I just happen to have some super glue someplace. It's not a matter of do I have it, it's a matter of can I find it. Super glue gel. That's super glue, right? Let's see if any comes out. Oh, yep, some comes out. Let me lift this carefully off. Put some blobs of gel all around. I'm sorry if you can't see this, but I'm desperately trying to do this before it breaks again. Okay, so just press it together, press it down, give it a little twist. It really is amazing. I mean, just forget about how it sounds. Does it sound good or doesn't it sound that good? Just the fact that you can make something that's that small that actually makes noise and has a circuit in it that can connect to Bluetooth. That's amazing to me. I mean, I'm easily impressed, I guess, but the world's used to this kind of stuff, but I'm not. I'm still amazed by all this when it works. All right, now I'm clearly making more of a mess than I'm. Sorry about that. All right, well, let me see. Turn it on, press and hold. All right, now let me get my phone. 2906, is that it? Pairing request, okay. Oh my goodness. Let me play some music. I might have done it, I might have fixed it. Can you believe it? I did it, I did it. I'm a winner, I'm a winner. Okay, well it glows different colors. I'll turn the lights off. Woohoo! Doesn't sound too bad for a microscopic speaker, but alright, I did it. Let me get out of this and turn this thing off. Alright, success. Can you believe I did that? Don't lie, I knew you didn't think I could do it. I didn't think I could do it either, but it just goes to show. Well, I don't know what it goes to show, but I got lucky this time and it went together. So anyway, that's that. Yep, I'm really glad I was able to get this fixed. That was very hard for me, to be honest with you. I don't usually like dealing with small stuff. I don't have a good track record trying to solder and work with things that are very, very tiny. But I was glad to be able to get this fixed up for my niece, for Melissa. It's not quite as pretty as it was when she gave it to me, but there's a little bit of glue smear here and there. I don't think it's quite lined up. There's a big crack here from where it fell. But it works. It makes noise. It lights up. And Melissa, your NYU Bluetooth speaker that cost you I don't know how many thousands of dollars is working again. So your uncle came through for you. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
What?